Hello and welcome to another episode of Gem City Gridiron Roundup podcast. As always, I am your host, Alton Van Pelt Scotch on the sidelines. With me, I have the commissioner, the grandfather, the father, the guy with a full mouth full of food right now, Zach Stewart.
What's up? I'm in a perky mood.
Yeah, good. Also, we have finally, he graces us with his presence, the trade maestro himself, Cody Lee Sackett.
Appreciate it. Happy to finally join. Been busy the last month, new job, all sorts of family stuff. So traveled to New York a couple weeks ago, and that pretty much wore me out. And I think I might have actually got COVID for the first time. So,
oh wow, lots of porn going on in the background on his TV. That's why he's got to blur it out. So
copyright infringements.
Yeah,
Zappe Indians.
I see a ball sack right there. Testicles.
It's Bailey Zappies.
Easy. All right. Let's just hop into this. High scoring affair in
some grapple.
The desert.
Oh, I thought we were, never mind.
I believe.
Yeah, Thursday night.
State Farm Stadium. Is that the desert? 42-34. Yeah. Oh yeah, because it's the Mercedes-Benz Dome is where the Saints play. So 42-34. Cardinals. 2 defensive touchdowns. Really not a ton of offense for the Cardinals, but just enough to get it done. Benjamin does go off. Kyler Murray, 30 yards on the ground. DeAndre Hopkins with a big showing coming straight off of the suspended list, correct? Or was it IR?
Suspended list. I really wanted to see what that Cardinals offense was going to look like with both Hollywood Brown and Hopkins. Like, they had one really good receiver, and then he goes out for now a few weeks. And now Hopkins comes back. He does his business. I think when Hollywood comes back, it's a 2-man race. Like, they're both getting 10 targets a game.
I'm really excited for Hopkins when they come back because he played more slot snaps, over 60% of his snaps in the slots last week. And he's been averaging around 20% the last couple of years with the Cardinals. I think Hollywood stays outside and Hopkins is your slot guy.
Which means that the target share probably will continue. On the other side, Chris Olave with another nice game, and Alvin Kamara starting to put together a little bit. Just no touchdowns.
Yeah, there's a quarterback controversy there. I still think Winston's going to start when he's fully healthy, but it's not. Andy Dalton's not the answer either.
Yeah, you probably just got to roll Jameis out there for the rest of the year just to see what happens, unless you want to, do some Taysom who scores again.
Taysom. He actually catches one this time.
Carolina Panthers, fresh off selling Christian McCaffrey. For those of you who don't know, Christian McCaffrey was traded to the 49ers for, I believe, 4 picks next year and 1 pick the year after.
A second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth.
Yeah, huge deal. And then, everybody's putting Tom Brady to bed.
Yeah, and they did not look very good. I don't know what's going on. They lose to the Steelers and they lose to the Panthers. Tom's in disarray.
28 targets between Chris Godwin and Mike Evans.
And they still couldn't do anything.
Mike Evans dropped like a
64-yard
touchdown.
Yeah, that was
whack.
Terrible drop.
It's just that's a momentum killer, man. You're already playing bad and you drop something that easy in the breadbasket, and they don't look right. There's a timing issue there, and I think that their offensive line. There was a stat on ESPN that Brady's got the least time to pressure in the NFL right now, and it's not even close. Him and Rodgers are both a second under time to pressure every other quarterback in the league. So there's a reason you're seeing the old guys struggle a little bit.
The old guys.
Deonta Foreman and Chuba Hubbard get pretty even work in this one. Hubbard with the touchdown. DJ Moore with the large target share out of nowhere.
Yeah, I believe he had like a 45% target share, but that's what's going to happen when you get rid of Robbie Anderson and Christian McCaffrey and 1.5 weeks apart from each other. He's going to get everything. And PJ Walker has earned himself another start, it looks like.
Yeah, that was actually announced today. So that's what we're getting. PJ Walker and Week 8. We have the Cincinnati Bengals 35, Falcons 17. Bengals came out hot in the first half. They have been slow going as of late, so it was nice to see that.
I don't want to talk about the Falcons. I'm disappointed.
Algier with the touchdown, 75-yard touchdown catch from Demir Bird. Zacchaeus, once again, is the James White of flex players, 6.1 points. And
God, they're so bad. Like
I
they
think
were
they're
down the
down
entire game.
corners. They're missing like 4
What's that?
cornerbacks, aren't they?
I don't know. This was the first time the Falcons did not cover so far this year.
That's true. I took that L.
Yeah, Jamar Chase goes off.
Yeah, Jamar
Actually,
freaking
Tyler
Chase.
Boyd, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Joe Mixon all
Had
with
good
nice
games.
days.
Yeah, that was. I don't get like how can we get the Falcons to pass the ball more? Like you took. Don't get me started on Kyle Pitts, but you took Drake London also in the top 10. Like you take two.
He was out.
No, he
I
played.
believe.
No.
Oh, no, he played.
No,
You
like
get rid of Marcus Mariota.
I don't think Desmond Ritter's going to do much better, but I'm like, you take these guys in the top 10, Pitts at number 4 overall, and then Drake London 8th overall to throw it 13 times. And you're down the entire game.
With the Bucks struggling, I mean, what are they, 1.5, 2 games out from the
One
division
game.
still?
One game.
So they're probably not making a change anytime soon.
No, I just don't get it. Like you take 2 top elite guys in the top 10 of the draft and you don't throw the ball. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Cowboys 24, Lions 6. A nice, efficient day having Dak back. Zeke plops into the end zone 2 times.
It's encouraging. Plops.
Yeah, you're welcome. Jamal Williams fills in once again, has a decent day, but he's not the touchdown machine that he has been so far this year. And all of the Lions receivers get in the mix.
Yeah, I had seen a meme on Twitter that it was on a podcast. It wasn't the plops in the end zone. Tony Pollard gets him all the way down there, does all the legwork, and then Zeke just backs into the end zone, backs his way up.
Like that.
Yep, backs his way up. Yeah, it was I don't know, weird game. The Lions didn't give the Cowboys much to work with, even though the Lions were leading at halftime, but picked it up after the half.
Zeke made it like a fat man on a crowded subway. That's what happened.
Hey, 2 tutties.
2 tutties. 2 titties.
Yep.
All right. Jets take care of business against the Broncos. I don't know if either of us had this as our lock, but I felt like even before Russell Wilson got ruled out, I was thinking that the Jets were going to continue overachieving.
No, your lock of the week was Melvin Gordon was going to run 21 times for 166 yards and 2 touchdowns.
He ran 11 times for
33
yards, 2 catches and 17 yards. Latavius Murray with the touchdown. The Broncos could not do anything on offense.
No, Brett Ripien. He's the one taking over right now. He may start one more week. Again, sorry to the folks in London. They get a Brett Ripien Broncos team against the Jacksonville Jaguars. What a great London game.
Exactly what. Hey, Jags are big in London, man. So
I know they love the Jags. Yeah.
Huge fantasy injury implications. Breece Hall has another good game, and yet he tears his ACL out for the rest of the season.
Yep. The news did just come through, though. James Robinson is headed to the New York Jets. That sends for a 5th and a 6th round pick, I believe, over to Jacksonville for James Robinson. So James Robinson and Michael Carter will share that backfield. And now it's the Travis Etienne show in Jacksonville.
Which, Zach, you just locked into 2 like top 10 running backs every week. We'll talk about that more later. Speaking of the Jaguars,
I wouldn't say lucked into it, but
Jaguars 17,
backs.
Giants 23. It was a field goal fest. Trevor Lawrence, he somewhat plops into the end zone, and Daniel Jones finds the end zone too, plops in there. 11 for 107. That's not really a plop. You're not plopping when you're running for 100 yards on the ground as a quarterback.
No, he had quite a bit of designed reads. Wandale Robinson's the only receiver that's kind of getting any work in New York. Daniel Bellinger, the tight end, was forced from the game, broken orbital socket. That was a nasty injury. If you want to go back and look at that,
How do you
gross.
break your eyeball, your eye socket?
Guy was coming in to tackle. The guy was coming in to tackle and came up high, and I guess his like a couple fingers got into his face mask and essentially just like forcefully punched him in the eye.
That's a season ender. They said like he's done for the year with that.
Yeah, it was gruesome. Yeah, that sucks.
The
Promising young tight end.
Are making their way towards the first losing season in Mike Tomlin's illustrious career. Kenny Pickett throws 3 more interceptions. I don't know. I haven't watched any Steelers football.
Deontay Johnson is giving up a lot of these picks. He's just like stopping his route. Like it's really embarrassing. I was watching that game last night and I'm like he sat in the zone and didn't move, and Kenny Pickett just throws it to where, I mean, obviously it's a bad throw, but like Deontay Johnson just sits there and lets it happen. Like the one in the end zone at the end of the game, I was like, it's a back shoulder throw. Like he thought it was a back shoulder throw, and Deontay Johnson went inside. Like you're still like 3 feet from him. Like he caught the ball, didn't even like try to push him out of bounds or anything. Like Deontay's really weird right now. Pickett is really targeting Pickens. That's probably irking Deontay a little bit. I mean, Deontay still led the team in targets, but he's been bad.
I feel
the whole offense has been bad.
Deontay Johnson's role in this offense is like 95% choice routes. And when you got a rookie quarterback who's, you're counting on to make a choice, that's really not productive.
No.
Raheem Mostert,
it was
another nice day.
And Kenny Pickett's tiny hands in the rain. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Whopper hands.
I didn't notice until the Sunday night game that he wears gloves on both hands either. I did not realize.
Kenny 2 gloves.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Pittsburgh will be in the market. They may be in the market for another quarterback next year.
You want Mac Jones?
What? Mac Jones.
You want Mac Jones?
Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill have serviceable days in fantasy. Moving on. Apparently, Matt Ryan injured his shoulder.
He did, but yeah, they say he injured his shoulder, but he effectively is benched as well. They said they're going Sam Ehlinger the rest of the season. Matt Ryan is done.
This might be like a
partially hurt
shadow.
And 3 interceptions will do that.
After having 2 back-to-back 30-point fantasy days, then they bench him.
Yeah, but fantasy isn't. I mean,
reality.
It's not reality.
Sure.
He's
the Indianapolis Colts fans booed Andrew Luck their quarterback position. It's just crazy.
I saw this. I wish I could find it. I'm gonna try to find it, but it said because the Colts have just recycled old quarterbacks. They've gone, Phillip Rivers. They've gone
Wentz.
They've gone now with Ryan. I was like, the next 8 years projected quarterbacks. Next year, Matthew Stafford. The year after that, who all these old Baker Mayfield, and then you have Jared Goff, and you have all the it's just gonna all these bad quarterbacks are eventually just gonna go to the Colts because they don't want to draft one. But it looks like Sam Ehlinger the rest of the year, which is gonna affect a lot of production.
Is that where he is?
What?
Is he a rookie? Is that who he is?
No, he's a second-year player.
Yeah,
six round pick out of Texas.
I think it's going to limit it to Jonathan Taylor will get a little bit more involved. We're going to see more Naheem Hines, and it's going to be one receiver a week, and it's going to be guess which one,
Yeah, Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, Paris Campbell's looked pretty good, and then just the rotation of the tight ends, Kylan Granson, Mo Alley Cox, and Jelani Woods. So it's kind of just pick your poison at that point.
Derrick Henry with 30 rushes. Love to see it. And my Titans to win the division lock is starting to look really good.
Yeah. You won that bet today. That bet too.
I don't know if it's locked in yet. Anything's gonna happen. I think Tannehill had an ankle injury, didn't he?
Yeah, he did leave a couple like one or two plays. Malik Willis came in, but he came right back in. But it was affecting Tannehill a little bit. He did leave the game in a boot, but the boot just freaks everybody out. So it doesn't matter.
They just do the boot at all times now.
Yeah. I mean, Tyreek Hill left 2 weeks ago in a boot and came back and practiced in full on Wednesday. So it just always freaks people out when they say, oh, he's in a boot.
Josh Jacobs explodes in the second half. The Las Vegas Raiders thwomp the Texans. They do cover. It did not look like it was going to go that way for most of the game. Devontae Adams is held out of the end zone once again, 8 for 95. We like to see that. And Dameon Pierce continues to be a workhorse that we love to see in Houston.
Yeah, Dameon Pierce, I mean, the way things are going right now, I mean, he was already taken early in our draft. I mean, this is how it goes. A rookie running back, does real well. He'll probably be a top 2-round pick again this year or the following year, pending what happens in the offseason or injuries. But like the rookie running backs have been going crazy this year. It's fun to watch.
Baltimore Ravens 23, Cleveland Browns 20. I believe this game came down to it. I don't know what happened in this game. Nick Chubb happened.
Yeah, Mark Andrews had essentially a goose egg. He had one carry for 4 yards. That's kind of a bit of a downer. Lamar, obviously a bit of a downer. Gus Bus, he's back. 2 tutties on the ground. I believe 15 carries. I don't have the stats in front of me, but
16.
16 carries.
Okay. Yes,
18 for 60 something.
16 for 66 and 2.
Yeah, so he's back. With J.K. Dobbins now on IR, it looks like he had a scope on his knee. He'll be out for at least 4 weeks. He is eligible to return because he was on the he did not start the year on IR or the PUP. Once you go on for a second time, that's when you're done for the year. So he's looking to be back, hopefully, when they try to make a playoff push. I think the Bengals now look like the best team in that division. Just the way Joe Burrow's getting it going and Lamar's kind of falling off a little bit. I mean, the Ravens have had some injuries too. I mean, haven't had a very steady backfield yet. Mark Andrews battled a knee injury this week. They missed Rashad Bateman missed a little bit of time in the past few weeks. But yeah, it was kind of a boring game to watch, honestly. It was just not memorable for sure.
Browns stalled out as soon as Njoku left. He was forced out in the third quarter with an ankle injury.
Yep, another high ankle sprain.
Multiple weeks.
Yep. 2 to 5 weeks. They're projecting no surgery, but 2 to 5 weeks for David Njoku. Ton of injuries this week. We've already mentioned the Brees Hall one, and there's still more to come.
Geno Smith makes his case for comeback player of the year.
Century.
Yeah, Seahawks continue to shock the footballing world. Kenneth Walker has his coming out party. DK Metcalf leaves the game with an injury. Pete Carroll is being kind of cagey about it just yet. Austin Eckler with a nice day. 12 targets, 12 receptions, 96 yards and a touchdown. Oh, yeah, he ran for a touchdown too. Mike Williams also out for multiple weeks with a high ankle sprain himself, I believe.
Yep, correct. DK Metcalf, they said it's a knee injury. No surgery needed. Patella tendon. So no timetable. Would probably expect to see him to go on IR, to miss that minimum 4 games. So yeah, 2 big injuries to 2 big receivers in that game.
Sunday's prime matchup of the afternoon, we saw the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. This was a really nice close game to start the first half, and then Kansas City just kind of balled out, topped off with a Juju Smith-Schuster touchdown to ice it, which ended with both teams bringing in their backups.
Yeah. Yeah, so the snaps were, I mean, obviously this was the first game Christian McCaffrey played with the 49ers, was traded on Thursday, was active on Sunday. He did play about a quarter of the snaps from what I saw. Um, Obviously in a blowout, they weren't going to stick him out there in the fourth quarter. Um, Him and Jeff Wilson did split the time between, they each played about a quarter of the snaps, and then the backup and Tyrion Davis Price kind of topped it off. But expect McCaffrey going forward to lead the team in touches, at least in the backfield, obviously. It looked like Debo is listed day to day. He came out with a hamstring injury from that game. Don't really know how serious that is. Shanahan's obviously pretty coy about injuries as well. Big game from Kittle. But the big day was from the receivers for Kansas City. Juju had a big game. MVS, I believe, had 3 for 111 off the top of my head. And then Mecole Hardman had 3 tutties. So that was fun to watch. 2 rushing touchdowns and a receiving touchdown. Their running backs did not give much production, even though Isaiah Pacheco was deemed the starter, but CEH did get the touchdown. Kansas City is dangerous.
Saw the largest snap share of the 3 running backs this last week,
which is even weirder because they were leading the entire second half. So they just like to throw the ball. They're going to put the ball in Mahomes' hands, and good things are going to happen.
I thought it was fun. Wasn't it Kittle and Kelsey had the exact same stat line when they ended for their national tight end day?
Kittle did get the touchdown, but yes,
Yep.
Besides that.
Same stat line. Yep.
Jeff Wilson dropped his only target, which he would have walked in the end zone.
He would have. Yep. Lost it in the sun.
Yep. It's same thing happened to me at the Sheridan High School field. Same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same. Commanders 23, Packers 21. We already touched on the fact that people are calling Rodgers washed a little bit. They tried to force feed the ball to Aaron Jones in this game, and it did work. For some reason, Rodgers just decided that he was going to target receivers who could not catch the ball.
That would be all of them.
None of them could catch.
Besides Aaron Jones, that was about it.
I didn't
Brian Robinson with another nice day.
Was look at the memes and see Rodgers screaming at his receivers to know how it went.
And on this show last week, we talked about Taylor Heineke. I went through some previous box scores and I said, hey, Terry McLaurin, look for him to have a nice day. And that's exactly what happened.
He did have a nice day. So, yeah, a lot of the receivers had I guess him and Curtis Samuel had decent days. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how long the Taylor Heineke experiment will go. We've seen it long enough. I mean, I'm sure they're going to get a sneak peek at Sam Howell, their rookie quarterback, at some point in the next 2 weeks or so. But, yeah.
To update for the Monday night game, there's currently about 7 minutes left in the third quarter. It's 23-14 Bears.
Go Bears.
The Patriots were extremely highly favored in this one. It was like -8.5 or something like that. We do have our native Patriots fan on this Zoom call. So, Cody, what do you think about this quarterback controversy?
I think it is Bailey Zappe's job to lose. Mac didn't look good the first 4 weeks of the season. I would think he was averaging 2 turnovers a game and not moving the offense at all, not letting the guys do their jobs. And Zappe comes in and he's pretty much played flawless. I don't even know if he's turning the ball over yet, to be honest. I'd have to look at the stat line these last 3 weeks, but 2-0 as a starter and playing really well. I think he looks good. And I think the fact that the Patriots fans waited 2 3-and-outs tonight off of his injury return to start booing Mac before and wanted Zappe back says it all. And I just don't think Belichick's going to deal with turnovers, and Mac threw a pick on his third drive tonight. And that was pretty much all she wrote. So I think you're going to see Bailey Zappe until he screws up to a level that even Mac can come back from. Maybe we'll ship Mac to the Steelers.
I'll take it.
It's time for the matchups that mattered.
By the way, do you know who I wanted in Pittsburgh?
Who?
Jimmy Garoppolo. At least he's functional,
Mm.
but they held on. And it was a good move for him. Holding on.
Speaking of holding on, Zach takes another dub in the Energy Bowl, 117-103. Even though I traded him a stinker in his flex position, he still overcame it.
Two stinkers. Michael Gallup and Romeo Dubs both give me goose eggs, and I still take down Dalton. I couldn't imagine. Can't imagine. Sorry, buddy. It was almost
left 10 points on the bench.
I know. It was funny. I looked at it when I was watching the games in the afternoon, and Ken Walker ripped off that 74-yard touchdown. I'm like, holy shit. I beat him. Because I was up like 25 points, and I was like, Deontay Johnson, there's no way he's getting that. If Walker doesn't run that out, obviously, there was still some time left in that game. He would have still churned out a few more yards, but that was 13.4 points. If that run doesn't happen, it only gives me about a half a point window to close it out. But no, yeah, coming out party for my running backs at least. They did all the damage. Kyle Pitts gave me my, the solid 3.9 floor that he always has. But I was at least glad. Every week I say I'm one of the worst teams in the league. Again, I'm 5-2. Because I think my team is absolutely atrocious. So I'm open for deals. I want to make my team better. So I'm working the trades. I've been working trades for the last few weeks, obviously.
Dolan, you trying to move one of those Cowboys yet, or are you just gonna ride or die with them all year?
I don't know, man. Heath is still looking to squeak one out against the 6-0 Stuart Brinkman. Brinkman still does have a chance, but he needs another touchdown from Jacoby Myers and then some.
Yeah, it'll be close. Good game from Heath. Obviously, Josh Jacobs and Joe Mixon help. That's a big part of it. But he's getting on.
Loses my games. That's going to be a big hole to fill for him.
I actually think if Jacoby Myers does score another touchdown, that the Brinkman will move to 7-0.
Yeah.
Just the way the math works out.
Yeah, and Jacoby's playing good. I mean, that touchdown in the first half of the Giants game was pretty ridiculous.
He's not projected to score, but
it's hard to project touchdowns, though. Really,
and the Patriots are down 9 right now, so I mean they're going to be throwing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick picks up his first win, moves to 1-6 to tie Lean at 1-6. Sorry, guys, you're both in essence eliminated.
Little toilet bowl preview here. Is that what we got going on?
Patrick's team is head over heels better than the roster that Lean has constructed.
Yeah, when you're starting Tyler Conklin in your flex, although he did score 6.2.
I guess that's more than Romeo Dubs. Yeah.
What's crazy about Dobbs is I would have started him if I played DFS. I would have started him too because his the setup was perfect.
God,
no
I know.
Watson, no Cobb.
Sammy's just coming back.
Yeah,
it worked out
the
perfect.
game script was perfect.
Yeah, he got targeted, but he did drop a few passes, so hopefully that doesn't burn him later.
I don't think so. He's the most talented out of those rookies.
I will say one thing before we move on from Pat's team is his roster is a playoff team in our league. It should be.
I know it should be.
Points the way that he has.
He's got the highest points against, and that's tough because he is playing okay. He's just having a tough time. Like people are just going off against him. It's tough, really tough.
I mean, he's going to be averaging. I was averaging 160 points against me when I was 0-3, and he was at like 150. And he's still got to be close to that average against.
Yeah, it's tough. Really, really tough for him. But he's churning along. He's got that first dub now. He's off to the races.
The Water Dogs moved to 4-3, taking down the Garrett Brinkman and the Dark Horse. Garrett moves to 2-5. Hilariously not out of it yet.
What happened to Alan Lazard? We didn't talk about him in that Packers matchup. I know he left.
He banged up his shoulder with a shoulder injury that was bugging him earlier in the offseason. They don't really have an update, so that's something to watch as well.
So he loses Metcalf and Lazard on the Dark Horses team.
Yeah, and he's got a good team too. Like there's some guys like that have really good rosters that aren't producing, whereas like I think they have way better rosters than my team, and I'm 5-2. Like, don't get me started.
Just go
Stack it. Go ahead and break down your matchup for us.
Yeah, took on the one-hit wonders today, aka the Buffalo Bills, even though it's not as much Bills as it was last year. And managed pulling out. Drew had a lot of bye week issues because he did have a lot of Buffalo. I mean, he's missing 3 Buffalo Bills this week and had some injury issues of his own. So puts up a decent outing for what he was dealing with, 118. And I still got some guys going here, but probably going to put up 150 to 160 somewhere. And when you got Burrow and Chase going on for almost 80, it's pretty hard to compete against that. So
yeah, that is tough. From 0-3 out of the ashes to 4-3.
Yep.
Poor Blaster. Luke moves to 7-0 with a drubbing over Blaster and his bastards.
Yeah, big injury for him, losing Brees Hall. That's a rough one to go through because he probably was on pace to be RB top 3 after this week's scoring if he would have stayed in the game. And
yeah, there was a chance like he was fighting for he was fighting for number 1 overall next year. Like the way things were going, like that's how running backs, you score a lot of points, you're going to be drafted really high next year.
It's a Jet.
It doesn't matter. He was drafted in the 4th round already as a rookie, and he's
DeAndre Swift drafted
as a rookie, third round
this year,
2nd round.
Brees Hall's better than DeAndre Swift pre-injury. Brees Hall has the same metrics as like Kamara and like some of your guys that are in that top 5 conversation here.
Yeah. The Jets are 5-2. I mean, 5. What? Yeah, like
there is Zach Wilson away from being a Super Bowl.
Go Flacco.
Put Flacco in so he can throw it 50 times a game.
No, and the big news on. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Blaster's got some tough lineup decisions to make down the road here. He's got a lot of injuries he's got to figure out, and got some running back depth that he's got to look for. So if anybody's selling running backs, maybe look at Blaster.
I have running backs for sale.
He got lucky with the 16.7 from Antonio Gibson. When you never really expect that on limited touches.
One other big story on the Jets was the Elijah Moore requesting a trade and then being deactivated on Sunday. They say he is going to be active this week. Obviously, no Brees Hall. Yep, Corey Davis sprained his MCL. So there's what are you going to roll out? Jeff Smith and Denzel Mims? Probably not. You're going to throw out your second round pick last year in Elijah Moore. So hopefully we'll see what happens with that. They did say he is not getting traded. Like the smart move is for them not to trade him because he is only a 2nd-year player. Hopefully they can work some stuff out. But that goes back to like Cam Akers, like requesting a trade and trying to figure it all out. And they're just not going to play him until they find a trade partner or they just don't play him the rest of the year. So that's something to watch too as the trade deadline approaches in the actual NFL. It is November 1st. We did mention James Robinson did get traded. The NFL is very fickle though, where they don't trade players very often. It's not like Major League Baseball or basketball where, you're trying to make that trade for that final push. Obviously, we saw 2 running backs get traded in the last week. So it's something to watch for in these next couple of days.
All right. Quick preview of Week 8's matchups.
Yeah, let me go and look at pull that up, and I'm gonna try to pull up the division records real fast.
Yes, the divisional update.
Yeah, the
I'll start it
tomato.
off. I play Blaster. I can't remember if we have a rivalry game or not.
Oh, I don't think so.
Pat plays Heath. Heath would like to continue with his hotness. I don't know. That's a weird way to put that. Sackett plays Stewart, who is still in the running for 7-0, but likely 6-1. Luke takes on Drew. Excuse me. Luke will be without Herbert. Christopher Lean takes on Garrett. Garrett desperately needs a win against Lean. And Zach gets Cole.
Yes.
Get the undefeated, but maybe undefeated. We'll see how it plays out because I think he's still got some time here. But we'll see what Jacoby Myers can do. And then I get to pull Stu next week, and he's going to be without Austin Eckler, so he's got an uphill battle there.
So it looks like if things pan out, it looks like the tomato division will go 4-2 once again over the tomato division, with wins from Luke, Cole, Sackett, and Heath, if Heath's game stands, and losses from Dalton and Lean. So the only descending losses. So that would put them, the tomato division, at 8-4, taking control over the tomato division, which Brinkman and myself are the ones carrying that division.
I'm feeling pretty good
Okay.
about the division here, man. I think we're going to run the table on you.
And that's fine. I'll be the only 5-2 team. I'm okay. I'm still trucking along.
You're going to be on an island at 5-2, aren't you?
I've been on an island the last couple of weeks. Like I was only 3-2 team. I was only 4-2 team. Now I'm only 5-2 team.
All right. Sack, are you going to participate in our bets?
Sure. I'll take your money.
First thing off the rip is lock of the week. Sackett, you are the guest. I will give you the floor unless you need to look.
Oh, I gotta look at next week's schedules.
All right. Zach, are you ready?
I'm pulling it up. Let's recap last week's bets. So we lost both our locks of the week.
Both our locks of the week.
Dalton had the Packers at 4.5.
Tennessee minus 2.5.
No, he had Packers.
Oh, for the lock of the week. Yeah.
Lock of the week.
I moved on.
Yep, I have not. I'm recapping. Packers at 4.5 point favorites. And I had the Patriots at 8 point favorites. So you did take down Tennessee. You had Tennessee minus 2.5. You did have Cincinnati minus 6.5. And then I did take the more rush attempts.
The Jets.
Yep, and I took that one.
Oh, the Broncos had more rush attempts?
28-24. So running total is 10-9. You also did not. I also claimed the extra victory of saying Melvin Gordon was not a top 10 running back. But yeah, let me.
I have my lock of the week, unless Sackett, are you ready?
Let's have Guess go first.
I don't think I'm going to take it from you here, but we'll see. I would have to say Bengals versus the Browns. I see the last line looks like -3 Bengals, and I would say that's my lock.
-3 Bengals.
Okay. I'm looking at DraftKings. I'm just double checking spreads. That's what I go off of. Yep, I have -3. Yep. Dalton?
Give me the Jaguars in London -3.
Nice.
It's the Dolphins.
Against the Brett Ripien Donkeys.
All right. And I'm going to take Tennessee -2.
Okay.
just typing these out.
It is my turn this
Yep.
week to make up that, right?
Yep. And then I'll pick first.
Don't ask me.
Zach, did you freeze?
Nope, you did.
Oh, no, you did. It's my turn this week, correct?
Yes, and I will make the first
Okay.
and third selection.
Well, I mean, Sackett's going to go first both times, and then it
Well, that's
can go
fine.
you, and then. All right,
Yeah. Okay.
we do have 2 bye weeks, Chiefs and Chargers. The first one is Ravens Buccaneers. I have it as Baltimore -1.5. Is that what DraftKings says?
I have Baltimore minus. I have -1.5
Last time it's $2.50.
on DraftKings.
Yeah, I think so.
2.5. I have 1.5.
This
I have
the
Ravens
23rd,
minus
so I guess they
1.5.
could have changed today, but this was the 23rd.
Yeah,
line.
Ravens -1.5 versus Tampa.
Sackett, where are you going? Where are you leaning?
You're so 1.5 in favor of the Ravens. I'm going to take the Bucks.
Zach?
I want the Bucks. Plus 1.5 for the Bucks.
Give me the Ravens then. All right. We have Miami -3.
One
against
second.
the
You got to
Lions.
go slower, dude. I'm going as fast as I can.
Are you chicken pecking over there?
No, I'm typing in a dark room.
That's chicken pecking if you got to look at it, though.
Can you get yourself some fucking readers or something?
I'm looking at my other screen, guys.
The title of this episode will be "Get Grandpa Some Readers."
I already have readers. No. It's called I'm Blind as a Bat. Okay, you said Miami.
Miami -3, Lions +3. Sackett, you're up first.
It's in Detroit.
Yes.
Yes.
Take the Dolphins.
I will also take the Dolphins.
Sackett -3. And then Dalton -3. And I'm taking the points, baby. I'm taking the Lions, baby.
And finally, this one is a juicy line.
Oh, God. Please let it be the one I want.
We have the Bills -10.5 and the Packers +10.5. Is that what it says on DraftKings?
Yep, I have
Yeah.
10.5.
Sackett.
This is in Buffalo. Man,
Yep.
the Packers playing like dog shit. I gotta take the Packers. They've been competitive every game. Packers to cover.
I want the Bills.
I want the Packers.
I don't think the Packers have lost by 2 possessions all year, have they? I think they've always been close games.
I don't know. But I saw another one that was pretty intriguing.
I like the Minnesota line. -3.5 against Arizona. Coming out of a bye at home with the fake Cliff Kingsbury.
Hey, man, he
Philadelphia
was moving
minus
DeAndre around. They
10.5.
were
Holy
motioning
crap.
and everything.
What was that?
They were moving DeAndre around. They had him motioning and everything pre-plays. Man, it almost looked like they were running an offense. It just took Tyler going to the sidelines on Call of Duty release night, screaming at him to get him going.
I saw that meme.
Calm the fuck down.
It's pretty bad in the first quarter when you got to go to your sidelines and scream at your coach. I don't know what Kingsbury's doing in his headset over there, but
Yeah.
Well, that does it for another successful show. Saki, you got anything left you'd like to add besides the fact that your beloved Patriots are down?
Yeah, we'll see what they got. It's just for starting the fourth quarter down by 12, so 2-score game here. Bears are driving, so probably going to be hopefully a field goal, but we'll see what they can do. Bailey Zappe season. It'll be interesting to see what they come out with in the media with Mac. I don't know if Belichick's going to say anything. I don't even know if he'll tell you that he benched Mac or if he'll even talk about it. So we'll see what the narrative is there. And blessed to come back from 0-3 and be competitive again in this league. So that's all I got.
Dalton, how do you truly feel losing, not just to me, but to a team that has 2 zeros? What could you have done differently?
Well, I did get my last minute pickup correct.
Correct.
So I was not too torn up about that. I probably could have trusted Michael Carter over Jeff Wilson, but that would have been like 3 more points. There's really nothing I could have done differently to win. It just came down to
matchups now. Historically,
say what?
What's your matchup record now with each other?
I don't know. I'm sure Zach has the lead.
No,
maybe not.
You have a winning record against me.
You used to be like my main, like I beat you every single time.
Let me pull it up. I have it up right now.
The old punching bag.
I am the old punching bag. Let's see, it's right here. Just a quick little filler. The all-time for me now, Dalton, you have a 7-5 record against me,
including this most recent matchup.
Including the most recent matchup, even though I have outscored you. I've had some big blow-up games.
Doesn't matter how much you win by, only matters how much you lose by.
Yeah,
a dub's a dub.
Sackett and I, we are tied 6-6. We haven't played yet this year. And then Dalton, you have a 4-8 record against Jubal over there. So that's who's your daddy?
He's got 2 or 3 in a row against me, though. I think.
Yeah, he's got the last 2, including the championship
got the
game.
Championship last year, and he got me early this year before I could figure my roster out.
Yeah, it was nice.
Like going back and look, I just did a little exercise earlier, and I went and looked back at week 1. Lean scored 160 points. That was his only win.
I know. He put up. I literally my first 3 weeks. I think I had Justin Jefferson go off for 40, and then I think I had who was my week 2? I could my first 3 weeks. I had a 40+ point player every week against me. And Lean, he saved all his points for week 1, and he threw it out there and beat me down, and that was it. He was done for the year.
Yeah, that's
touchdown Montgomery.
Yes.
Yep. All right. Well,
3-score game. So Bailey Zappe, you got your work cut out for you.
Sure does.
Getting benched.
This is the end.